morning, class. Welcome to Homeroom with Unc and Market Monk. Morning, P. How's your week?
Oh, really, really good. Just the some of the earnings stuff's been working for me. Just been kind of hitting the same setup and some of the crypto stuff over and over. But I feel like it's just kind of waiting there. And you had mentioned it was one of those where kind of like you have time and all that. But big winner for me, XYZ of the week, and then um, some kind of random stuff like there was a stock glob and just software that had been pretty beat down. Some of those you just kind of say thank you and move on. Restaurants really were as a sector kind of the thing that did extremely well. Wing was my biggest one. Got some donuts, some Red Robin too, though. So just really, really solid there. Great timing on our our session there. Those deserve more attention, I think, within our room and outside of it too. But we can just chat and make money too. That's fine.
Yeah, I was up in the air about letting that go publicly or not, and I just kind of moved on from it. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, what a week! What a week! I'm over here looking for songs to play in the background right now. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the list is too long. Short-sighted lithium. All over the list last week, and then dude, we're getting Adele. For me, hitting plays like that is the ultimate why I do this because I'm not doing that without the teamwork.
Yeah.
But perfect entries on big stocks are something that I've been trying to do, and yeah, there that go again. Do we need to talk about Netflix and PayPal? I mean,
Right. Right.
Jesus. Kava, you mentioned with the restaurants. Off the rack a little bit. Figs. No one's talking about figs. The one with the S, not the one with the G. Um,
Yeah.
I'm kind of free in that, but big move last week. Um, Overall, the thesis or the theory, man, if I DCA'd it, I did real good. Um, and that's somewhere we've been for 3 or 4 weeks, and it was just really good to see more than enough come in off of that list from using that strategy over about the last month. So time is your friend. Um, Hang out in the good ones. I think we'll talk a little bit more about that, and if not, on to the next one for me. But um, man, I think we got a couple generational entries this last week. We talked about that privately a little bit, but
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it is being able to spot when a stock kind of truly bottoms out and then you're just waiting and it's that park and wait emoji and the the for on the option side the short term noise doesn't really mean anything. People will start posting the fundamentals of PayPal and all that, but I mean the fact is that the fundamentals of PayPal have been were good 50% ago. I mean,
sure.
so it's not really that that definitely helps sustain it when it starts to get it starts to get a reason, but it's giving it that time and working through our system is how we really find a spot in these. And one that kind of comes to mind now that I think has been in this process where people keep trying to catch the knife on it is Duolingo. And I you know caught that one on the upside, kept some free, went way beyond what I ever thought. And then when it really started to collapse, um, I didn't I didn't like it. I didn't like it again. I didn't like it again. And that honestly is a little bit um, different for me than when we first started doing this. Where I don't know if you remember, I was like, "Hey, coin 200, are we where we
Good
at?"
shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so like I would kind of just keep trying and trying, and then like I'd be like, "Okay, fine." I let that one go, and then it bottomed out, and then we found it again. Duolingo I didn't like at all. As it loses 300 and 200 and so on. Showed up in my notes after this last ER drop, just finding some equilibrium the next day as an options trade. But um, you those kind of a big collapse like that, it does take some time, and you got to wait for that. Usually, you got to wait for that to get really boring before you find something on it. And Wing, to a lesser extent, was the same way, where caught a lot of that big move up, and then it was and then just waited and waited, and then the sector was right. We started to see something there, and the thing is, when a sector is right like that, and then we can start bouncing names off of each other, and then Red Robin comes back into the discussion, and you're talking about a handful of stocks that have some pretty low risk ads in the $3 to $12 range, with 30 to 60% moves, and just in the setup, and then off we go. And you don't have to have big huge positions. You don't have to risk a lot of your portfolio, but you can do well on those. So I mean, honest, it's proven at this point that we can do this, and so definitely was glad to see the payoff for the work. So we talk about use the work. You get to see the results of the work in a week like that.
I like the two examples there because as soon as you brought up Duolingo, I went and searched their group. And I have not typed the DUOL into our page since 725.
Yeah,
You've been off and on in it since then, like you do. But if you do the same thing with Wing, you'll probably find similar results, except for I just talked about Wing about 2 weeks ago.
right.
And I mean that's part of the secret sauce. I mean, can Professor find entries and plays? 100%. I mean, ER page kind of proves that. I have zero input on the ER page. Like maybe you use some of the collab reads to make plays over there. And
Yeah,
same with my TA notes. Like you don't have anything to do with that. We can find plays individually all day long, but together they're so much better, and it's just
yep.
how it is. Um, kind of forward that to the Netflix and the what was the other one we just had? Oh, the PayPal. I could have made a list just off the rule we preached forever. 3 candles on the weekly.
Yeah.
Netflix is probably the best, just because the 3 candles on the weekly also went right to the 75.01 to the penny. um,
Right. Right.
so, but the same with PayPal, 3 bars. So letting that build, and right now there's a lot out there. So I mean, this week for our room, I expect to hear that a lot. Hey, we got 3 bars on the weekly here. What are we doing? Because that's where the read's gonna be. For me, 3 bars is a lot of things, but one of the unwritten things is it gives the whales a little time to position. They
Yes.
can't position in a day. They really can't, and you probably ain't gonna run to your computer, buy and trade in a day. So it works out for both of you guys. Um, and currently healthy in that regard. Um, but the to kind of go back to the generational ads or stuff, you got to know what you got to be on the bigger time frames, and you got to know what you're looking for. You got to make that list. Like Duolingo, is it going to have its day? Yes. Now it's just getting the proper setup and the proper timing, and seeing things we've seen before. I'll probably put Coin there too, Pete, currently,
Yeah.
as
Sure.
another chart it's going to set up for just ads that you're not going to get. And if there's anything that we do different, no, 3 bars again, right? If there's
Yeah.
anything we do different, it's staying on the winners and finding the next setup. So um, it's that
So
rotation. It's that rotation and finding trades in the rotation that we're currently in. I mean, Spy's stuck between that 75 and 700, 675, 700 number, and we're going to be trading like this, like I said, for 4 to 6 weeks. So 3 to 5 now since that was last week.
yeah. So coin real quick, and I mean, what's funny with this one with the old levels, you can see kind of the option pivots, ridiculous number of lines. MSTR is the same way. It's just it's how I trade the crypto stuff. Got to get used to it. But the bigger picture, big levels up here. I mentioned in coin on this pullback. I said you want it to get to the middle of this zone and below, and then you can start adding it. And so that under 180, what was good, has been good, and but we might not be done with those lower levels. So any shares that you're adding long term, you got to kind of make a decision. And for me, it's about the average, and I don't care about averaging up from any kind of bottom tick I did. Bottom tick's going to probably be pre-market with crypto. That's just how it goes. But you kind of just have to say I don't really care that much on if my average when I come out of this thing is 152 or 162 when big picture 300 plus is what it probably is going to do. So that's where the kind of the separate accounts things happens, and the hedged upside option trades is what I typically am doing to to pay for this stuff. And I was doing the hedged upside thing when it was over 220. The thing was that it was the put, but I just kept doing the same thing, and a lot of those puts 200 by the time you end up rolling the thing, 1800, 2000, and the whole goal of that is to buy shares with it. And just seeing this movie before, so it's that's a trade to me that has a lot of maintenance to it. Or you could go very low maintenance with this thing and watch it build down here, and then work through our system, and then and just add shares. Enphase was the same way. I I put a lot of time into trading Enphase, and I don't know, you press fewer buttons on Enphase than me. But we both did well. So it depends on how you want to do it. But yeah, I love these ones that set up for a while and take some time, and then you know don't ask me about coin at 250. I guess is what I'd say. MDB was the same thing. Snow was the same, will be the same. So I love the big stocks. That's kind of my first love for this. But I will will say for me on the other side, the smalls, I didn't know if what I do could work on smalls. It was an experiment, and then it was just kind of like, holy shit. So probably my favorite thing in this whole room, this whole time we've been doing this, is me starting to look at small caps, you starting to look at the big stuff. That we both did that in our own way, and it's just really been really good for what we do.
Yeah, no, to be honest, P, I mean, money went under the mattress, money went into NVIDIA, money's got to go somewhere now. I mean, that's
Did
where
I lose you?
you got me. All right, there you go. Yeah, what I said, P, was you know, it started off money under the mattress, money into NVIDIA. And I gotta have that. I gotta have the place to put that money now. So the big ones make sense in that regard. Um, a big thing that I wrote down, I've been wanting to say it. You don't scale in, or you don't average up or average down. That drives me crazy. Um, because you're mentally putting a already defined move into the trade. You just scale in and you scale out, and it's that simple.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
whether your average is good or bad or whatever, whether you're on a secondary trade, which is I kind of like to see it. Um, I mean, let's just use some simple math. If I buy some at 5 and it goes to 10 and I sell half, or I sell 20% of it, and I have like a 450 average now, and I want to buy at 10 because it's going to 20. I don't think I'm averaging up to 750. I just treat it as a secondary trade. And my tax lots kind of define that for me, and I pay attention a little more to that. And obviously, I'm going to sell those first um, when it comes time to scale out a little bit. But the averaging up and down, I just try to keep that out of my head 100% of the time. Coin, Simple math, people. If you look at Professor's line on the bottom of his screen, and you look at mine, and I got his little purple line. Mine's a little less crowded here, but um, he was 72. I was 76. 100% from there, consolidating
Yeah.
there on the chart. I mean, it's super simple, and the longer it's here, the longer I'm gonna trust it. 200 SMA on the weekly, so stuff like that you kind of pick up along the way. Um, Everyone should have had a good coin entry, and should have had a good coin trade, and you'd kind of just wait for him to set back up. Um, One of my notes this week was you kind of got a choice: be to be perfect, bottom tick or top tick, or be profitable. It's real hard to be perfect and profitable
Yeah.
in this game, and a lot of people focus on just being perfect. How can I get the rest of this? How much more is it going? Just focus on being profitable at first, and the little nuances you'll learn, because you'll learn it in a happy environment. Oh, I made $100. I could have made 1,000. Next time I know to do this. Instead of, oh, I'm making $200. Oh, I'm up $300. Now I'm up 150 today. Oh, now I'm up only 125. And you panic sell before it even goes to 1,000 anyway. Um, you kind of want to learn that along the way and just have a different perception of perfect, because perfect really is just staying maintaining profitability over several months for me versus getting all of a trade. And that came up with Carlos's RDW. I mean, for me right away, it's like in my head, it's like, what are we talking about holding RDW? If we were going to hold RDW, I would still have a big position in PL, ASTS. Um, Help me out here, P. There's like 4 or 5 other space plays that I would have just held. And
Yeah.
I didn't, because I just traded the range. And the 8 to 10 trade, if you want to keep some free shares, cool. But the 8 to 10 trade, that's kind of it there. And it's about not getting all of it if it takes off. Same with Lunar. It's not getting all of it. Probably ONDS this week. Not getting all of it. But where's there just a trade? And that might have come from where I started this with the smalls. I'm just gonna buy 1,000 shares. The shit needs to move $1, and I'm gonna call it a wrap for the day. Um, but it's what's kept me in this game, and it's helped me weather storms, and actually helped me take advantage of really good markets, because I'm not really late. I don't need perfect conditions to trade.
Uh, yes, and the avoiding the taking the win and not round tripping something. I have more experience that on the option side than with
Of course.
small cap share positions. But yeah, option side, it's all magnified and happens. It happens much faster, and so you can be right and lose um, on a lot of this stuff. And the smalls for me. I mean the just very uh, careful about. You don't want to be late there. The Fastly, for example, the way I watched, it was so predictable that all of a sudden everyone's loving that one and they're all into it and um, entering now and drawing all their shapes and all that. Where you already had a number posted and it reacted to that number when it had that big pop. And
It's still
then
reacting to that number, P.
yeah, yeah. But I mean,
But you
it's
don't
just
you
dicey
don't
up
you don't
here.
have 25s. That's the problem. I mean, that's
Right,
that,
right,
that that's
yeah,
what
right,
changes our
exactly.
trade
So
from their trade on Twitter. Is Monk right now doesn't have 25s. That's it. I say that because we put this public out. We put this video publicly out there. There'll be someone that catches that. But all the bullshit they're telling you, I actually have a fucking level here. I had it before the move. Until P
yeah,
has 25s, you're not hearing it from us.
right. And I can trust me. I look. I do. I mean,
I
I don't
trust
care if
you.
something pops 100%. I'm gonna see what where they at where they at now on this thing. And it's not necessarily because I'm looking to re-enter or I mean part of it keep a little and see where it's going, but I just follow the process and honestly, I mean, Fastly, if it comes up again, it'll be like it did last time. I don't have to look for it.
Yeah,
I set up the filters in a way that I'll just see it.
they can't hide.
So
They can't hide. I mean,
yeah,
we're very we're fucking. If the oxens plow the field, we're 3 counties down. on
Yeah.
knowing which stocks the whales can't really hide in, which ones that are gonna follow the path, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that was the origin of my channels. People, I mean, if you look at a lot of my channels, well, why are they so tight and why are they so defined? Or some of them are checked out. If you look at like Mara's channel or you look at like Coin's channel, well, the plan was to kind of be fast through the range. That was the initial parts of my channels. Like we're gonna be able to
Yeah.
trade the bottom to the top, just in the channel. Um, and we've definitely evolved since then, but I'm still pretty diligent on keeping those one or two really good historic levels. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just had to get that in. Sorry.
Well, and on the concept of the whales hiding, and then they can't hide. There are stocks where they really just they can't or don't try to hide what they're doing, and it's sort of it's ones people don't talk about. Sherwin-Williams Paint
Yeah.
was an example of that. WD-40 is like that. But there are others where they do hide what they're doing, and then all of a sudden they stop. And to me, it's at that moment where I'm like, they've changed their approach here. They've accumulated enough.
They're
They
in.
position themselves where they want to be, and now it's like, cat's out of the bag. This is going to go where it's going. Who cares? And catching that moment too has been, um, really really good for us. And I, constantly, I don't really change my approach, but I keep working at and refining, what I do. And to me, I mean, the I'm an English professor, but I do go with the sports analogies a lot in what we do, because I think it really works. And it's like in baseball, you have your pitch. Usually you want three dominant pitches, two that stand out, and one that's like that's your go-to. And but you just keep working on those. You keep working on speed and location, and assess what you do it over and over again. So catching that whole process of the mechanics of what's going on behind what I say, of they can't hide, or they're not trying to hide now.
Yeah.
They stop, whatever. That is has been a big part of this process, for me. And I, as far as teaching that, that offers open, for people who want to learn how to do that. I haven't had a lot of people take me up on that, which is fine. I mean, I think that you kind of pick what's your major in our room. If we're gonna go with the university example. But I think that there's gen ed option flow that I think everyone should kind of know. But you don't have to do the grad school version of it to really get the benefit of what we're doing.
Yeah. No, I wasn't even gonna go down that. I don't want to. I think I sent it to you. I don't want to post it publicly because I mean it was sent to me privately, but I think I sent that message from you. Your guy basically busting even, wondering what he can do wrong, and just a simple conversation puts him profitable.
Yeah.
Because it's usually something simple, it really is. And I started not necessarily this room, but wanting to be in a Discord, just for the community aspect. Because of that, because I was in that situation to where you'd just some fucking feedback would be great. Like, what did I do wrong? Like, how all these people on Twitter are they all banked on it, but I didn't. What did I
Yeah.
do wrong? And just having that community, transform that community into like, all right, let's not even trade what those people are trading over there. Let's trade our own shit. Not to be like shot callers or pumpers, but just to work in a more safer environment. And kind of fast forward to today to the point I wanted to get out. Um, just because I'm mindful of it. But like I mean, you talk about how things you're doing currently to level up, and um, I, I'm at the stage of my career where like the little things, like my process or whatever, it's really not going to change that much. My return on investment of working on those things just isn't but isn't that great, and I might fuck it up. So I'm becoming a lot more strict with things, and you know to be honest, I just apologize to you right up front because you're taking the brunt of it. But it's the definitely not personal, P, ever. Don't ever take it personal. But if I just have it in my head, if we can find like 10 or 15 good ones, well, tell me the best five. And that's just kind of my focus on this year.
Yeah.
To put it to your sports analogy, I'm just a fastball low hitter. I gotta stop chasing those outside curveballs and those changeups. I mean, I can hit them, but I put fastballs out of the fucking park. So like, just be patient and only hit fastballs because in this game, you don't get strikes for the ones that go by. You only get strikes for the ones you swing at and you miss.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. And uh, for me, part of it, it's like taking something. I guess the hardest part for me, in what we do is to take something that um, I am actually good at and have success at, and say like I don't really need to do this as much, or even saying it like that as much. I probably don't need to do it at all. But it's kind of those those quick option scalps where it's like it's so obvious what's going to happen here, and I can just hop in and make a couple $100, and then do that. But you kind of reach your point. It's like I don't really need to do that. I mean, because we have
Yeah. Okay.
these setups, and we have Donut and Red Robin and um, you know PayPal and Square and Netflix and
You better still be.
whatever,
You better
where
still be in
you can
Celsius.
just go bigger and sit there for a little while, and you're gonna get your 15,
Yeah.
you're gonna get your 15-20%. And it's not 50% in 5 minutes. But I don't need to do that. You can just go do something else. Go enjoy life. You don't have to sit there and look at a minute chart. So yeah, scaling off of that stuff, part of the been part of the process, for me. And I have I barely look at kind of the zero DTE flow and all that. And a lot of the tools on the site I use are geared towards that kind of thing, and that kind of trading. And I you know I with Nvidia earnings, right? I mean, I thought the best way to talk about earnings that week in particular is to say like, well, we're going to talk about everything but uh,
Yeah.
everyone's on that one. It's crowded. They're going to blow the numbers out of the water. That Jensen's really good at talking them up and everything, but it'll probably pop and fade anyway, and be flat, and then kill all the options. So let's not bother with that one. Hey, what's Square up to? What is Snow up to, or uh, Glob? I mean, yeah. So that's where I think you really can level up, is just to you know find the things that people aren't talking about, understand how sectors really work, and then you're not sitting out here saying like, well, the market needs a new theme. That comment made me laugh a lot. That the market needs a new theme because AI is dead. AI isn't dead. It's a little more complicated than you're looking at. It's many things. It's wafer cleaners and chip foundries, and individual software stories, and all that. But I mean, there's a lot of the restaurant. Is that enough of a theme? I mean, why isn't that a theme? Look at what those stocks have done. You're gonna tell me there's no theme there. No, you want the theme that everyone's already talking about, that you can just go hitch your wagon to for a little while. But no, we don't need help. We don't need help from someone to tell us what to trade. We'll find it.
You get into a really bullish market. I'll just trade shit like Snap because of Snap benefits.
Yeah, yeah,
I think there was a week before that where I was like, or maybe a month before that, where I was like, I'm just gonna trade these A stocks, you know,
Yeah.
AAAR, APA. I'm just trading these
Right.
A
Right. Right.
stock. Like I can't even get past this on my damn list. They're in such a bullish market. Um, yeah. The man, the big win for me here, P. I think lately is the Netflix trade was obvious, but I'm counting a little of Paramount as well. Just as
Yeah.
a hedge. And that's
Right.
not
Right.
normal for me to do. And like usually I'm one sided, so I don't get that without the sectors, without understanding the full sector and kind of taking my EV experience, that template of like where's this going, who's going to be the winner, taking that into those other sectors. Was real hard to do in gold and silver. But the streamer stuff, the restaurant stuff, the financial service providers,
Yeah.
payday loan guys, real easy. Super fucking easy on the discount stores too. Shit, that was cake. Because they're just fractured by region. Like the ones that are over here aren't over there. We don't have a lot of Dollar Generals out here. We got the Dollar Trees. Um, so yeah. I mean, just kind of moving that around, um, from what I used to do to now is, you know, lack of better terms, fucking life changing. You scared me a little bit when you're like, I'm not gonna be doing this, and I was like, bullshit, you're gonna be doing this, because we're doing this no matter what, even if it's just a phone call or through text messages. I think we're doing this no matter what, and
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I mean that's the if you want to know our scam, that's it. We're doing this shit no matter what. Thanks for joining. um, um, but yeah. You said a little bit, just to rotate a little bit. You wanted to talk about oops, I'm on last week. Um,
Yeah.
ER and IPOs, which is kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
a more of a direct topic than what we've been talking about. So yeah, run a little bit on that.
Oh yeah. So the on ERs, the I've had very limited casino posts this round, and not that there've been some really good moves that AOII went up 50% or some shit. But the win rate on what I have been posting um, has been good. But a lot of the ER outlook was pretty sour, or just moderate to me, and so you saw like First Solar had the big drop, and um, that the best setups in here are you get the big pullback. Maybe you can hit it for some trades the day after or 2 days after or whatever. But that we're gonna revisit a lot of those in kind of the weeks to come. And so on the ER side, that's kind of where I'm at. And I saw you posted one in collabs that I had said, I'll probably like this one in a little while, and well, Circle, I'll just say it. But the so that is kind of the dominant look there. But on the IPO side, I guess one of the things that I would say that I kind of look for and have learned to look for. There's this whole life cycle. These IPOs. The big the IPO release is kind of the quick trade. I remember when Fig did that, and then a lot of them have significant um, drawdowns from that. But and then as always, I start to get into them a little earlier than you. It seems like just because of how options work. But I look at like Klarna or something like that, and I want to get your take just on the kind of the life cycle of the IPOs in these early stages, and then when the setup's more mature, like we had with Twillo or Snow or ones like that. What how do you approach the whole process of the IPO life cycle?
Well, I mean, the last time we did IPOs, we made a list, and it was pretty much anything that was within the last 3 years, just so we could get SMAs on the chart.
Mhm.
The current stuff we're talking about, Circle's funny because I almost put Circle on my last five, and it was the only one that because I had 11.
Yeah.
But it was the only one that got the bad fucking grade this week. So
Yeah,
I was a
yeah.
little bitter about that. But um, the newer ones like those ones, the ones that you're mentioning, currently, I just don't have a big attraction to them because the all I have is technicals to go off of, and they're not profitable. They don't have it. They're operating at a loss, and then they're they're like 10 times book value some in some cases. So just not really a fair value for them currently. Like I just don't have a reason to buy, and I mean we normally don't spill secret sauce in here. I'm gonna, I'm gonna bring Klarna up just for fun, but the circle, like I read through, I looked at the chart. It is kind of like has that bottom look a little bit. This isn't it, the chart I'm talking about. I just wanted to bring this up. But the ER beat was really good. I mean, if we go look at the numbers on Circle, so that's what I'm going off of currently.
Yeah.
Coming back to the volume P levels, I feel like the underwater spots are gonna just your head's literally gonna be underwater. Like they can choke that out because there's no levels to defend. There's no whale off sides. There's no
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
interest that that they have to wake up. I mean, why would they have playgrounds or plays or defenses, whatever analogy or way you want to look at it, across thousands of stocks, like thousands of stocks, and they have to like actively manage those, and they think they're going to be profitable on those until something makes sense. Why would they get in it? They're just not getting in it because it's a name. um Spears probably the best example for me of one currently that went as good as it can go. Um,
Yeah.
but like there's just no like where's the bottom at? So if you weren't willing to buy from fucking 40 to 20, it wasn't for you, and that's 50% drawback. And my ads were closer to 40 because I mean, if you just look at the weekly chart, that's what we had for volume P, and it came back up and kind of consolidated as support above that. And once you get your head above water, it's just a better place for me to go. So kind of going back to where we are in Circle, I mean, having that conversation out here in public, it's just the same thing. It's got its head back above what the only level I have on any time frame is 81, 82, 83 on that thing because it doesn't have the history built. I don't have EMAs and all of that. So good report
Well,
back above the level. It's just worth a shot because um, there is a lot of range here in general, and they are going to start making money.
the yeah, so the Klarna, the thing that Klarna has going for it, and I agree with everything you said, and that it hasn't, built. And I my win on Klarna was in the casino, and it was a put. And then the way I do it typically is the put is short expiration. The calls get time because what I expect it to just get obliterated. But then you take your big win there, and then the calls, if they recover anything, it's just kind of just icing on top. But anyway,
Yeah, book value there's $7, so we're at 13 now. You're 2 times book value, but if you look at the chart, I mean, we were 4 and 5 and 6 times it at the beginning of the
yeah.
year. So is it getting to a better spot? Sure, but now we just need a real reason to trade it.
Well,
And
it's what I like about it initially, and it's not flow, it's not TA, whatever. It's like, okay, this has the makings of the Twitter punchline stock,
sure,
where it's like people financing their burritos, and a lot of times those will reach a spot where they start to go to the upside, and people are just in disbelief. But I've also been at this long enough, not really going to go into something. It has no flow, it has no TA. You know
you just got to
that
be ready to
you're not.
buy it at 8.
Yeah,
I
don't sign
mean,
that. Don't sign that. Don't sign that prospect for 1.2
yes,
million. When
yes,
you can get him in the 60th round
yes.
for a bag of chips.
Yeah, Tom
Um,
Brady was the last pick. Don't forget that.
yeah, yeah, exactly right. So yeah, so it's all about you know um, value in the risk being right, and it's just not one that's likely um, to leave without you. But one of the reasons that we are so good at what we do, to me, is that I try to spot and think about and remember stocks that we're going to be talking about
Oh, sure.
6 weeks from now, or 3 months from now, or 6 months from now.
Sure.
So that long term thinking is something that I don't think most people are very good at. And for some people, like long term thinking in stocks, which this does work. Is like I just buy and I don't worry about it, and in 20 years I'll be all right. You're buying the S&P, then that works perfectly well. But when you're in individual stocks, and you try to direct that mentality to AMC or something, you get in trouble. So yeah, I mean, I think our long term planning has there's a lot of moving parts, and seeing how this setup's likely going to be constructed before it takes shape, I think is something we're pretty good at too.
Yeah. It just makes me think of how much of I look more like a genius every day with my Tesla cells at 450 last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
Let me get some boring stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it. All right. So okay. So copper, uh, $6. I had a good week. Mentioned that possibility last week. Started talking about some steel stocks and small caps and things like that. So you could really catch some momentum here. The 5 to 7 was sort of what I was after, and not as some overnight wick, up to the 7 or something, but more of a steady build. So that's kind of where we are on copper. So yeah, more of the same there. I mean, just entries are not going to be as easy as they were after that big drawdown, but or that mid candle consolidation or whatever. But had the roadmap there, so I hope people followed that. Um, Silver, uh, you know, we talked about opportunity here, and here it is. So we're mid candle on that drop, and that's you know what we expected, and then you can consolidate here for a while. There's a lot going on in the world that could keep driving silver for sure. So you could go retest that high, very possible. Just it's just a different animal now than when we were first on it.
Yeah, I'll double down on you can scalp those charts.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
you can get
Um,
some lunch money out of them.
yep. And then gold's basically the same setup. It's a little ahead of silver on its move back to highs, but I wouldn't bet against it continuing. So it's gold's a tougher scalp look to me than silver. Just finding the stocks that give you that kind of percentage is a little trickier. So I'm kind of just still in just maintenance on what I have. I've got about 20% of what I originally had in gold and silver stocks. So just you know, more of a seller than a buyer, honestly. But yeah, do not short either one of those. I mean, you're not, you're gonna go to detention in our room. You try to do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right, and then let's see, natural gas, just still opportunity. I mean, I don't care that much about the chart, to be honest. It's yeah, under $3. You can start to make a move on some of this. We're still very early in the story that's going to move this, and the story is not the weather to me.
Sure,
But
sure.
yeah, just yeah, love the combo stocks. A lot of the combo stocks have done extremely well even during this drawdown. So
Yep.
um, yeah, we're fine there. And oil, obviously you're gonna get some volatility off what's going on in the Middle East. Um, I mean, really, it's not Iran. It's not Iran as an oil producer, but it's um, the Strait
Yep.
that they're closing down, and just worries, concerns over there. So, so if you're already positioned in some oil, you know, I'd probably pay attention to futures and pre-market. You might be able to, trim a little bit, but yeah, don't enter a geopolitical move. I would say with
Good
oil, but
good time to talk about that a little bit. I mean, it's obvious now to me that Trump really cares about the market being reactive to these kind of events. So the wars for the weekends,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and they're trying to get to where the story's positive by Monday. So kind of just be mindful of that if you're thinking bombs are bearish. I guess that's the way to put it. And just to be mindful that all news negative doesn't mean negative for the stock. I mean, the Square news was they laid off half their fucking employees. I asked it right away in the room. Why?
yeah.
Why did this just move? Because it's
Right.
important to understand that. And the Netflix lost the deal, walked away, but they're not spending the $6 billion or whatever it is. So understanding, I mean, the market's not always goofy foot, but understanding how the news is going to be digested, that sometimes bad news is good for the stock is very, very important.
Yeah, and we were waiting it out with Kroger Albertsons for a long time,
Yeah.
right? And then that that deal gets killed, and then all of a sudden, Albertsons was pretty good, and I mean, and that's a freaking grocery store, so it's a much I guess kind of sexier trade for the big streaming service and media. Went through it with JetBlue too, but
We went through it with Twitter.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
We've been doing it that long, man. Yeah, the
Yep.
Twitter deal was like I think that started February, April, and didn't end until October. Um, but yeah, just knowing how news is digested and it's important. And the same thing goes with these geopolitical events. I mean, even if you do think someone's losing, that's fine. Someone is probably losing. Well, who's gonna win? Because the system will balance each other out and find the winner.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so then uranium
Yay, yay.
had the pullback here. Kind of no big deal. I probably going to get back into these, to be honest. You got the U's got through earnings, and you have some big potential in some of the the modular reactors and just big range. So going to be
There
highly
you go.
readable sector, I think,
There you go. Yeah, I
for
got to
you.
get over trading shit from 20 to 30 that I traded fucking from 3 to 5. It just
Yeah,
is what it
right,
is.
right.
It just is
Yeah,
what it is. I mean, I got a note on the wall like if it was a gym class, you got to strengthen that mental muscle.
yeah,
That's been
yeah.
the hardest fucking thing for me in what we do is, not I don't get mad that I paper handed things, but I get a little frustrated when I do see a chart and I'm like, oh yeah, the trade's there, but I'm not buying that, and then it does that. That
Yeah,
pisses me off.
stocks reach a kind of a new paradigm. I mean, I had that with definitely on the quantum stuff.
Yeah, Riccati, and that
I
was
mean,
all a
people are like,
dollar.
they're like, "How about Rigetti?" And I'm like, I don't, I bought it for $1. What do you mean? How
Yeah.
about Rigetti? But yeah, and they they reestablished and have had good range since then. So, um, all right, then let's see, little 10 year really took a
Dip. Yeah.
dive.
Yeah.
So
They were
it's
talking on Friday, P. They were talking on the news like it was a good thing we finally went below 4. But they were
yeah.
talking about how it was bad for what were they talking it was bad for? It was good for the dollar but bad for something else. I forget. But it was interesting how they were trying to sell it as positive because it broke below 4. Like
Well,
it's good.
it's how it gets there that to me that matters.
Yeah.
You don't want you really don't want the violence on this chart, um, because even if like if it's going to have some positive effect for for stocks. Like it's not going to last. It's pop and fade conditions. You need bonds to settle down, and then you're going to hold your gains better. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not like panic mode on this or
Will
anything.
you pull up that 5 year?
Yeah.
Go to the bottom, or weekly 5 year, or something like that. It's on the bottom, bottom left.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, got it. You can see how often I use that.
So one, we gotta change it. Yeah, so 3.4, 3.5 would be what I'd be looking for. Maybe 3.6.
Yeah.
I could see how it's a little overcooked since 23. um, yeah. For me, it's following. I'm with you though. It's like having that drastic move down those 4 bad months or whatever. But you're kind of tightening since 24 too, which isn't a bad thing. Um,
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what you want. I mean, you just want it to calm down. And when bonds are freaking out, it's like whales just have it gets their attention. It takes their attention away from the stock setups, which is where we want them to be. So that's my simple read on it. That if bonds are calm, they can just get to work, and the work of the stock market is to go up. So
yeah,
that's that's the default position. So you just want all things kind of normal, and then you get your grind ups, and then you get your oversold stocks that recover and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely something to watch. I wouldn't really be on the minute chart or trying to do TA or anything,
exactly.
but yeah, yeah, 1.5% down in a day is not what you're looking for. Um, Neither is the minute chart. Hang on. Okay. So, um, all right, then.
You did.
Actually, we got to talk. Wait, I'm
Oh,
sorry. We got to talk with lithium for a
bro.
second.
Hey, my it's I'm not lucky. All right. That's all I wanted to say. Go run the run.
Yeah,
I mean, I had him last week for a reason. I did really good last week. I shouldn't talk
yeah.
shit. I'm sorry, P. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, just lithium rebounds toward 2-year high, like stories like that. We saw coming. That it's just like, damn, look at this chart, and it was all the way back when it started to show signs of life in September that that was pretty big, and then we kind of knew, well, what this can do, and we're we're certainly ready for that. And for me, it was a story of there's the pure lithium stocks, and then there's the battery stocks. So the battery stocks have done okay, some not EOSE, but the lithium setups were there. If you had your attention there, if you have positions there, then you've done extremely well.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. That was just a good thesis. Um, yeah, overall, and I mean the chart. I think there's still a lot left. So story's not done there, and timing is everything. I mean, we just kind of nailed it. So for me, perfect. Like I mean, I can get you the entries on Netflix's and whatever, yada yada yada. Those are pretty easy. You on Lilly, Costco, whatever on that side. But like these shitty ones, lack of better terms. Um,
Yeah.
I haven't played one like that where I bought one that I'm fucking not leaving, and I've been able to scalp the other two pretty well. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't think that stops. Um, Luckily, I got the mind right for them, as opposed to like copper and probably gold to a little bit of extent, where some of those I just got off the train and I ain't even look back, and now we're talking about scalping them 3x
Yeah.
later. So lot of range left here, and I don't even think the whole thesis or story's out yet. So
No, I mean, so lithium, to me, like what's kind of equilibrium on it or whatever. I mean, really, it's like $40. It's or 32 to 45 or something like that. I mean, it just had no business being down there, and part of it was, I mean, I suppose that huge move in lithium was coincided with the original EV mania, right? I mean, that
Sure.
was kind of where it was. But you know, it's
Well, I think it was more battery tech off of EV because we were talking glass batteries because we couldn't find enough other
yes, yeah,
resources and stuff like that.
right, right, and the battery story is still a huge part of things, and the people want the theme. I mean, the next iteration of AI is kind of physical. It's the devices that are powered by AI and doing their own thing, and the battery technology that's necessary to make that happen. Because I mean, that remains the biggest bottleneck in technology. Um, to me, is that in my understanding of it, that you are limited by having to recharge shit all the time, and um, finding ways around that, or improving battery technology will still continue to be a big story.
Yep, battery and then heat. That's usually how that shit works. Got to cool it.
Yep.
Got to power it.
Yeah, you want to talk? Yeah, heat. Real quick, I brag about this one because it was just such an obsession for me. This whole stock is about
Cooling.
um, cooling, so
Yep.
uh, okay on that one. All right, then
Nah, you got bagged on that chart somewhere.
I I definitely did. So on the I bought it 100 down to under 60.
Jesus,
Um,
you're so good at that.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's confidence in what you see though on the other end. So
Yes, yeah, and it was just a recovery to 140, and then like, well, shit, it's got more, so I kept some, but yeah, that was good. All right, then I will talk Bitcoin this week. I forgot last week, which ended up working out. It's fine to forget it, but all right. So yeah, this has had some volatility this weekend on the uh, Iranian stuff, and kind of leveled out. We'll see when futures open what this wants to do. But as you go through the different time frames, it got a little it's got a little quiet down here, which is probably good. So I think we'll be on the crypto names coming up
what's up with
pretty
the
soon.
no Jan Street mention from you? That's all the rage I see. You know me, I'm in the cheap seats though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a little overblown.
Okay.
Um, the There was definitely you get kind of your American market opens and crypto dumps, kind of every day, but really that was clearing out short term leverage is what crypto's all about, for a long for a while now, and so that's continued even after the Jane Street stuff broke. So that to me, it just becomes the new meme. Talking about the hedgies and all that. It's not a huge deal, big picture.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I don't see another big drawback for any reason. So
Yeah,
there's ones you're gonna want to hang out in, and there's ones that have tradable range. I mean, Mara just did, 7 to 10. That math checks out great. There's a couple though that are cleaner, um, less bag holders is what I mean by cleaner. Um,
yeah.
so I'm gonna start mention. I mean, I have mentioned them. They'll be in my last five probably next month. Got one today. So
Cool. All right. Then I'll just a quick pulse check on Spy, and then we'll wrap it
yeah,
up.
talk just overall market, but
Yep.
we're just stuck in that that zone we talked about 700, 675 I think it was, whatever. You just look at your weekly candles, you can see it's pretty defined. What are these? Yeah, 675, 700, and I'm still an adamant believer before they let the fucking top off this goddamn thing, you're gonna see it. So I'm not really too worried about it. Um, it's not gonna really I mean, that's not going to make me run to anything or do anything different. I mean, I might go pick up a little more Zillow. Don't get me wrong, but um,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But for me, we know where we are. We know we're going to be here for a while, and we've seen how to trade it. So we're just in that DCA market, um, uh, hopefully towards the end of the rotation of profit takers and new buyers. And then that's the inversion you need. The Top Gun. I was inverted. That's what you need to see inside the other
Yeah.
cockpit. This guy finds value in it as this guy's selling it, and you got to see that, and then hopefully the buyers take over, and we find another level up, and the better names, probably a little bigger moves, to be honest. But some of that small stuff, man, it just you got 5 minutes to enter, and we're on our way, and probably not checking back 20-30% to that original entry. So you just got to know what you're playing in right now, and that again relate a little bit to what Carlos was saying. Um, Separating a day trade from the swing trade from the I'm not fucking leaving trade is very important right now in how you approach stocks.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only option that's out there that's kind of relevant right now is this 630 put for June.
Yeah, shit.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
So it's definitely kind of undecided, but they it's kind of their buoy they throw out in the ocean to deal with later. So we'll see how they operate around that.
It's
But
still the 50s right there. I mean, $6 off, but I mean, it's just 50, and to me, that feels like that's where they already were,
yeah,
that type of
oh
thing.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
they just haven't moved that chess piece yet, which is, I mean, it's been good for us.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So you know, 660 is the number above that matters, and then 680 and 700. So I don't it's just pretty simple. The punch through at 700 is tricky. Will continue to be, but
I don't say it like this, but I look at every stock this way, and I think it's important, especially with my levels. But just imagine 660 is my level. I mean, maybe you've heard it once or twice from me before, but I don't know. But 660, we're getting to 675. That's strength off of support. It's not even it's hot stoving. It's not even getting to your level. It's not even testing. It's not dipping below it. It's showing strength off of 660, which I do think the market currently is strong.
yep, absolutely.
Perfect. You ready to work, Pete?
Yeah, let's do it.